For people watching who don't know, Virginia and Kent are all over Twitter and Facebook.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this one's for them.
Okay.
By now, you two probably know this. I'm not worried about you, but everybody else. You might know that what you say on the internet could be used against you down the road by employers, by future employers, by colleagues. But did you know that it also can be used against you in court? Seriously. Here to tell us more about social media and the law is Andy Crouppen of Brown & Crouppen. Andy, always nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The bottom line is, anything you put out there online, just put in the back of your mind, it might come back around one day.
The real bottom line is, don't be so stupid. Seriously, when I was preparing for this and doing a little research online, it's just shocking what people not only will post online, but end up getting in trouble for. It's hard to believe that there's that little common sense going through some people's minds.
Well, it's hard to believe, and yet it is believable, because you see, if you're into social media at all, you see this kind of dopey stuff going on.
Well, I don't know what kind of friends you're friends with on Facebook.
You don't want to know. Let me put it that way. But this, you've got some specific examples. The case of divorce, for example.
Right.
You've got feuds over custody. You've got feuds over who's going to make a better parent. Well, don't think for a second that the court and the attorneys involved aren't going to look into your online history.
Oh, they're scouring it. And if you think just because your profile's private, which many people forget to even do in the first place, you know, I think people have sneaky ways of getting in and seeing what you're posting. But you're right, if you're in a divorce proceeding, you don't want your soon-to-be ex-spouse seeing that you're out dating and perhaps, you know, photos of you drinking and things that may be used against you in a custody battle. I mean, everything to me, I sort of break a lot of things down into sort of a risk-reward analysis. And it's never going to be, I can't see how it would be important enough to put a picture of me drinking a beer on my Facebook wall at the risk of losing my children. It just doesn't make sense.
And I mean, you can't be too cautious, because a friend of yours could take a picture of you drinking a beer and then tag you, and suddenly everyone who's friends with you sees it, and it goes on and on and on.
Right.
Let's talk about the sort of the admissibility in court. Cell phone calls, text messages, emails, all of these things are fair game? They
can be. You know, it's circumstantial, case by case, and often up to the discretion of the judge, but all of your emails potentially can be discoverable and admissible in court, all of your text messages. And another thing about them is not only can they be admissible, they're available. You know, I think people send these text messages and say and do anything thinking, well, once the other person has it, it's really over with, they delete it, it's done. It's not. It's stored on your cell phone company's servers for I'm not sure how long. But often it's available for much longer than you would anticipate. So be mindful of what you're putting in writing. You
brought a couple of examples of specific cases. One is a woman filing a lawsuit against Facebook because Facebook was using her name in some sponsored ads that her friends could see, and understandably she didn't like that.
Sure.
But if you're going to raise that issue in court, you got to know everything you've ever posted on Facebook is suddenly public.
Right. The irony is that she raises sort of a minor privacy issue that concerned her and ended up truly having all of her private messages distributed in the court proceedings and really opened everything up. You'll see during my research I found a gentleman who meant to send, I think, some nude pictures of himself privately to somebody, but accidentally made them public on his Facebook wall, lost his job. You know, as you and I were discussing before, I saw something where somebody put a post on their Facebook wall asking if anybody would be willing to kill the father of their child. Somebody responded, sure, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
And they end up getting arrested. I mean, it really is, you got to think of these things as though any conversation you're having about doing something illegal, pretend there's an FBI agent
on the other end,
sitting in your lap as you're saying it.
That's
and you really have to think that way. Social media has become a tremendous gift to law enforcement because they find, you know, if they're looking for somebody, it's so often so easy to find things out about people and locate them and see what they're doing wrong.
So true.
And it happens more than you'd like to think.
It follows you forever.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Andy,
That's true.
Thank you very much. If you have a legal question for